Students, welcome to your business studies class. So students, in this class we'll be discussing about the first chapter, that is the nature and the purpose of business. There we'll be discussing one of the topic, that is business risk. These are the topics which we have already discussed in our previous classes, regular classes. Now this is just a revision class, okay? So that is why we'll be discussing this in a summary. So whenever we mean business risk, those business risks actually refers to certain degree of uncertainties, right? So in our higher classes, we'll be getting how these risks can be anticipated. There is a process called SWOT analysis, strength, opportunities, weaknesses and threats. Under those of activities, business risks can be presumed, okay? There are also certain business dimensions are there, like your technological dimensions are there, that is changes of technologies like the mobile phone that you are using right now, that mobile phone will not be able to use it after a particular period of time. Again, another type of technologies that makes the previous model obsolete. Those things are related to technological environment or technological dimensions of a business that contributes to business risks. These are something other than that of your syllabus, okay? Since this is a class, so I just want to give you a broader knowledge about the various types of business risks. Usually when you mean the business risks, it refers to the possibility of inadequate profits or losses due to various uncertainties. Now these uncertainties, the word uncertainties has got a very bigger meaning. These uncertainties will comprise of all the dimensions that are harming the business, that are affecting the business, right? Now, I have told you about the technological environment. There are, apart from technological environment, there are other political environments also. Those are called political dimensions. Like whenever a country relation with another foreign country goes good or goes bad, it also affects the businesses of both the countries, right? In the same way, just like the oil price. Now, the oil that we purchase, India purchases. So, oil from wherever we purchases, that depends upon the relationship that we have with those oil selling countries, right? So whenever the oil prices goes up and down, that impacts a business to a large scale, clear? So one factor is totally related with another factor, and this as a whole, it is related to some of the broader concepts like your technological environment, like your political environment, like your economic environment, right? Even your social environment. Social environment includes the changes of taste, changes of fashion of the people. Your economic environment consists of your bank rates, GTB, GNP, all those things. Even the repo rates will also be coming. Repo rates under the CRR, SLR, all those things will also be coming under your economic environment. So all these things comprises of the word uncertainties. Okay. So whenever these uncertainties, now the COVID situation is also an uncertainty. Nobody knows whenever the third wave of COVID will be coming. Clear? So all those things are uncertainties. Some of those uncertainties are very close to the business, and some of the uncertainties are very apart from the business. That at least they usually affect the business from outside. Just as the various dimensions which I have told you, like your political dimension, economic dimension, social dimension, all those things affects the business from quite a distance. But there are also certain uncertainties, like your customer, like your creditors, suppliers, all those things will also contribute towards these uncertainties also. Now in this COVID lockdown period, the suppliers refuse to sell their goods. The suppliers also stop giving goods on credit. So all those things could also be regarded as uncertainties. Now see, customers are also not coming because of the COVID. At 11 o'clock or at 12 o'clock curfew starts, and so we have to close our shops. All those things are also comprising about the uncertainties. So all those uncertainties or unexpected situation is usually considered as business risks. So as per the chapter syllabus of CBSE, we are going to study in a very brief manner. Okay, the CBSE syllabus is not that concise, so as to give you a broader knowledge about it. So we will be confining our discussion based upon the CBSE syllabus of business studies under class 11. Okay. So whenever we talk about business risks, those business risks can be subdivided into two parts. Number one will be your speculative risks, and number 2 will be your pure risks. So whenever we mean speculative risks, there comes the concept of profit also, profit or loss. But what will be the amount of profit, we don't know. What will be the amount of loss, we don't know. Here profit or loss comes here. But under pure risks is also a part of the business risks. Here under pure risks, there will never be the concept of profit. Under pure risks, there can be a loss or no loss. Okay. I suppose you have understood this one in the cases with pure risks, like just insurance, fire insurance, your marine insurance. If the damage occurs, then that will be a loss. But if the damage does not occur, then there will be no loss. But there will also be no profit on that. Clear? So that is the meaning of pure risk. Okay. So let us discuss about in details about the speculative risk. So speculative risk involves both the possibility of gains or possibility of profits, okay, as well as the possibility of loss. But what will be the amount of profit and what will be the amount of loss, that is very much also difficult to ascertain. Okay. However, that will be ascertained through various SWOT analysis that will be provided, you will be getting it in your future classes. Okay. Now you see, apart from that, speculative risk arises, the reason you see, causes of the changes of the market condition. Market condition, this will be influenced by your social activities or your social dimension. The society will be affecting, that is the change of taste, the change of fashion of the people. Okay, including fluctuation in demand and the changes in the price or change in the fashion taste of the customers. So fluctuation in demand or the changes in price, this will be your economy, this will also be a part of the economic environment. Okay, so that will be affecting how much demand will be there as per the consumers' needs and wants. Okay, so that's all about the speculative risks. The only thing that in speculative risks you want to learn is that there will be a possibility of gain and there will also be the possibility of loss. Now the difference with that of pure risks, here you see, pure risks involves only the possibility of loss or no loss. Okay, just if an earthquake happens and if our house is insured on it, if the earthquake happens, then there will be loss. But if the earthquake doesn't happen, there will be no loss. If a theft occurs, if a robbery occurs, if it occurs, then there will be loss. But if it does not occur, there will be no profit, there will be no loss. However, the concept of profit or gain is totally omitted in the cases with pure risk. Okay. Next you see, here the meaning of the characteristics of risks will be discussing. Just we have discussed about the characteristics of so many concepts of business, even the characteristics of business we have learned. Now, since we are discussing about business risks, so here in this slides we'll be discussing about the characteristics of risks or the nature of risks. Number one, here you see, it arises from the word uncertainty. Now, uncertainty we have explained to you. There are several grades of uncertainty. Some are very close to the business, like your customers, like your suppliers, right? Like your insurance providers. Okay, so those will be very close to the business. Or we can say that they are specific uncertainties that affects the business from very close distance. Apart from that, there are also certain uncertainties that affects the business from outside, like the government regulations, the increase in the taxes of the government, that will be affecting us in some way or the other. Now, the increase in the prices of oil, that is also a government decision based upon the political activities. Okay, so increase in the prices of petroleum products, even though we are not dealing with petroleum products, our prices is going to hamper, our business is going to be affected. Okay, because in one way or the other, our businesses is also the activities that we do is also related with the government's decision to increase the price of fuel. Okay, so apart from that, apart from the government's decisions or social customers' decisions, that is the society's decision, or other than that, there can be many regions, like the changes of bank rates, the increase in GDP, the total value of goods and services that our countrymen produces, the employment rates, all those things are going to say are going to define the meaning of uncertainties. Okay. Next characteristics or the nature of business is that it is an essential part of business. That means nobody is going to do business without these risks. It is an essential, it is a part and parcel. Whatever business you do, big or small, business risks will be there. Okay. Next, you see, degree of risk depends upon the size of the business. That means what? The higher the amount of volume of your business, the greater is the amount of risk. A person, just like a sole proprietor, what we have learned in chapter 2, is for a sole proprietor, his dealings are very small. But for a person, a company manager, or a person who runs a joint venture, for that purpose, he deals with a huge amount. The volume of his transaction is very, very high. In that case, the risk is also very high. Okay, that is why the degree, the amount of risk depends upon the size of the business. And next is that the profit is actually a reward for the business, for the taking the risk of a business. The higher the amount of risk, the higher will be the profit. That means higher the amount of profit, that means we need to deal with a huge amount of goods and services. We need to deal with a more amount, varieties of, that means our volume of transaction should be more. Whenever our variety of transaction will be more, our profit will also be more, and in that cases our risks will also be more. Contrary is the vice versa. And next we'll be discussing about the reasons or the causes of business risks. Now we have discussed previous slides about the characteristics or the natures of business risks. Now in this video we'll be discussing about the causes or the reasons of business risks. Okay, here you see. The first reason is about the natural causes. Natural causes will comprises of various activities like calamities like flood, earthquake, lightning, heavy rains, etc. This is also going to impact our business. Our business may be shut down because of the flood or because of the lightning, etc. Okay, so that is one of the first region or causes of business risks. Now another thing is that about our human elements, because we people will be working in a particular business. Now in that case, whatever activities we do, that activities can also be considered as uncertainties in that. Now take for example the dishonesty of an employee. If an employee is dishonest or disloyal towards his employer, in that case what happens, he will be obviously developing some quarrel in his organization, and in that way the business will be hampered. Clear? So dishonesty or disloyalty, carelessness or negligence of the use of machines. You see carelessness even in the factories. If the people are not careful in utilizing their own machines and all, in that cases they will be causing a damage to the machines. Clear? So the negligence or the carelessness of the employee will also create certain hurdles in the way of smooth doing of business. And next is your economic causes. So economic causes will be those like the changes of demand, price fluctuation, all these things will be included under your economic causes. Okay. So even the collection of dues from the customers or the changes of technologies, collection of dues, that means if you have got more bad debts, okay, or if you have got if the banks is having more non-performing assets, those will be considered under economic causes. In such a case, the bank will have to increase their rates, even the lending rates. Clear? So those things will be coming under your economic causes. And economic causes will also impact your business, and this will also be considered under uncertainties, which is the meaning of the risk. Okay? And other causes, here you see, there are other, apart from the previous causes, other causes of business risks will be political disturbance. If the government comes up and comes down, comes up and comes down, changes of government occurs frequently. So those will be also be considered under business risks. Then mechanical failure. If the constant power ups and power down, mechanical failure will also be included under your electricity supply. If your electricity supply in a particular region is good, then obviously they will be doing the business in a proper manner. But if the electricity supply is poor, the voltage facility is bad, and even this machines, so use of machines is not that proper, your business is going to hamper. Okay, so I suppose you have today we have covered the entire meaning of business risks in much a broader way, including the reasons we have discussed, including the causes and characteristics we have discussed. Okay, so I suppose this video is clear to you, and I believe that you will surely be finding this video useful to you, and I expect that if you have found the video useful, then please don't forget to hit the like button. So that's all for today class. Thank you very much.